on Zoom. Yes, I agree. And hopefully my sound is there. It is a little bit late in your in India, right?
Yeah, it's 11 p.m.
Oh, okay. I should go.
No, I,
So,
I usually do not sleep before 2 a.m. Never. I think we are
so
live.
yeah, we are live, but I want to edit the video. So,
Let me share this on my channel so some people can join from there as well. Arm wrestling news live on Golden Arms post. Done.
perfect. So, what's let me see.
Perfect
Thumbnail.
sound. Sarah M has joined.
Okay, great. I need every time.
So you're changing the name of this live or what?
Yes.
Yeah, it maybe you can do it later on after the live ends.
Okay. So now we are live, and I have the pleasure to have Pradeep as a guest on my channel. Pradeep, what to say? I'm a big fan of your channel, of course. Otherwise, I will not invite you. And it's a great way to be up to date if you're interested into the arm wrestling. If you don't have enough time to cover everything, you always can check one of the weeklies or many time in the week videos of Pradeep, and you are up to date, which is a great. Um, so I'm very interesting in the story of Pradeep. So how well did the love from arm wrestling came in your life? When did you start to be interested in arm wrestling?
Ever since I remember, like maybe when I was 8, 9 years old, always used to love arm wrestling. Don't exactly remember when the first time I started it, but I was like, if the this is the average in my class in terms of strength, I was like a little bit here in top two, top three. So never used to lose in arm wrestling to anyone in my class. So that's when people
So
used to
in high school, I guess you started in the high school, or
no, way before that. Since I was like 8, 9 years old, maybe.
how old are you, Pradeep?
I'm right now about 29.
Okay, young, still young guy, young man.
Yeah, yeah. So I started back then, and sooner when people realized, yeah, they cannot beat me, and obviously I'll be lying if I was not arm wrestling everyone to see if I can beat them or not. But then soon everyone realized that maybe he's just trying to beat us, and they stopped arm wrestling. They refused to arm wrestle, so that became problematic. On the right arm, I still used to get good challenges. I've never been strong righty, but on the left, like literally in my school, maybe even guys who are like a couple of classes ahead of me, I can literally start the match here with a wrist like that, and I can beat everyone in my school. So
So
that's when it
dominant.
started. That's when it started, and I got interested. So the funny story is that usually people watch someone like Devon or Schoolboy or someone else, and then they start getting into arm wrestling. My story was opposite. I was arm wrestling before I started watching arm wrestling. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how my story. That's how my story began.
Very, very interesting. Okay, very interesting. So,
People talk about movies like Over the Top. Have you watched Over the Top? I watched Over the Top maybe 7 years after I started watching Travis Bajent.
mhm,
His
me
trash
too.
talks.
Me too.
I really got into these stuff really late.
Okay, very interesting. And which year was that? 2010 or?
Before that, for sure, before that, like in school when I started arm wrestling.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
Mhm,
just for fun. Maybe a couple of matches every other day.
mhm,
That's how I
mhm.
was doing. It could be
I
like
try to understand
2005 maybe.
in which period the arm wrestling was at that time. Is the rise of Devon or the Nemirov
Okay,
or
Rise of Devon, I would say at first I got to know about Travis Bagent.
Mhm,
That's who I started. That maybe because of Travis Bagent, I got interested into professional arm wrestling. I really enjoyed the highlights of Travis from Game of Arms, which happened in 2013 or 14.
mhm,
I
mhm,
saw the highlights on internet in 2015, I guess. So that's when I got interested in arm wrestling. Slowly got to know who Devon Larratt is after Travis. It was for me. Then I got interested in arm wrestling. So Travis, Devon, Denis Siplenkov. These three were the kind
mhm.
of.
And when did you decide to start the journey with your YouTube channel?
It was in 2020 early part. So I used to watch some other sports. Sometimes I'll watch some
Cricket?
wrestling news. I I was always a big fan of professional wrestling. As a kid, I some 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-old kids, they watch cartoons and stuff on TV. I used to watch WWF. That's
Uh-huh.
what got me interesting. So I was a big fan. But as soon as I got older, stopped watching it. But sometimes just to be in touch with what's going on, I used to watch some channels, like I think the Wrestle Chatter was the name, or some other YouTube channels, I don't exactly remember which one, to
Mhm,
watch the news of the wrestling world. And then one day I thought, well, I watch everything about arm wrestling, all of the podcasts, the guys Ryan SP, Chris Gobby, they were going Arm Hub podcast, Hand Control Worldwide. That channel was,
Band
they were doing.
Control was one of the first channel
Yeah,
they start interviewing people, and I love the show. And
yeah.
I'm unfortunately they didn't continue after 50 episodes.
Yeah,
I don't know
they,
what was the
the
reason.
audience wasn't there, so we cannot really blame them. At that time, the audience for podcasts wasn't there. We were few, like everyone used to know every single person in the comment section. That's how bad it was. So if
Mm.
20 people comment, like everybody knew each other's name from the comment section.
But it was not so far away in the past, if you think about it. It was for maybe 5 years
Five
or
years ago, yeah, yeah.
5 years
I used
around.
to watch all of their podcasts, all of them, as soon as they dropped on
I
YouTube.
love the show, and I talked to one of the guys. I forgot his name now at the moment. The guy who is competing regularly in the WAF, he's a world champion in the WAF Masters. Yeah, not
I think he
John.
competed. The bald guy, I also forgot the name. He competed in East versus West first event
Yes,
as well.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I talked to with him and I said, great show. Why did you continue? But yeah,
yeah. So it
okay.
was fun. It was fun. Everybody knew everybody at that time, but the audience just wasn't there. And I was like, I watch everything and I don't really miss anything. But if I miss, where is the news channel of arm wrestling where I can catch up with the highlights? There was none. So one day I was just going out to have some food and I was thinking, man, I should start an arm wrestling news channel. Will it be worth it? If you remember, if no, not many people know about that, but first couple of videos, I think it was the fourth or fifth video on my channel, I did it in Hindi, my own language, so just to see which language is working well. At that time there was literally no interest in India about international arm wrestling. I switched to English, and then since then it has been going on over
Mm.
1.4 thousand videos, I think.
I think at the moment you're so popular, you have really high popularity. In my point of view, the first time wrestling channel is the channel of Devon Warat, which I was watching regularly. The stuff, the weird stuff Devon is talking about every day. Then the channel of Coach Ray showed up. Ryan Bowen, of course, with his journey, and then your channel came. But I have your uh, working effort is very high. You're
Yeah.
putting videos, there is no break. You're very consistent in your content, and I think this is something that the people who are watching you are very appreciated.
Yeah,
And you have also great interviews, and you ask tough questions. And this is something I enjoy in your interviews, that you're not only the nice giving softballs to the people. You sometimes you are asking a little
Yeah.
bit difficult questions, and this is something I really enjoy and appreciate watching your videos.
You know what my
Um,
plan was? Initially, I was thinking about being kind of like, as you were saying, throwing some softballs, easy questions, and then when like it becomes an established channel, then I'll start with the tough questions. So to be honest, the tough questions part, it has not even started yet. Those were the easy questions that you were just talking about.
mhm. Okay, okay. I like that you're some kind of independent. You have independent mindset in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I don't know how that's gonna work out if it's possible to have channel who everybody is happy with. If
Yeah.
this is even possible, I don't know, but I think we are gonna find out in the future.
Yeah.
So that was not. It was a plan to start a channel, news, arm wrestling, and are you still into the game? So are you compete working out on daily basis or not so
Oh,
much?
that's kind of interesting, brother, because I used to compete in 2019. I did a few tournaments. I think one I did in 2020 as well, and then everything got locked down. That's when I got the idea to start a YouTube channel. And since then, I have never competed. So I'm full time into arm wrestling, doing everything around arm wrestling. I'm not competing or training. When I was not doing much about arm wrestling at that time, I was continuing. I was competing in arm wrestling. So it's kind of a weird story as well. Right
Mm-hmm.
now I have a job. Like I want to leave my job, but I'm in a situation where I'm bound by a contract. I cannot leave my job. So 8 hours go there and about 7 8 hours go here on YouTube. So I'm literally, these earphones are plugged into my ears all day long. Whatever I'm doing, brushing my teeth, eating food, going out to a shop, these earphones are never out of my ears, and I'm always listening to some videos, some
You you
podcasts
you are listing arm wrestling content during this time.
throughout the day. When I'm traveling, when I'm doing literally anything, these earphones are never out of my ear. So and after that, when some time is left, I'm like, should I be training? Because I tried that while listening to some podcasts, lifting some weights. It sounds cool, but most of the times I always have to listen carefully and prepare points which I may be using in the video. So at that time, listening carefully and writing stuff down and working out at the same time, it didn't make much sense for me.
At
So
the
in my
moment
opinion, yeah.
you're one man show. So you are editing, making the videos, the ideas of the videos, or
Yeah, I was doing that up until 1 year ago, and right now my brother is editing the videos for me for last 1 year. So if you go to the description of any of my video, it says video edited by Manjeet, which is my brother's name. So
uh-huh, okay.
I've stopped editing videos right now, not doing them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Up
Good.
until 1 year ago, I was doing that.
Good to have you, bro. And then you're making the voiceover, or oh, okay,
Yeah.
great, great. Interesting journey, because I think that maybe I'm wrong, but I think that arm wrestling in one of the sports um, who is growing over the YouTube, over
Yeah.
social media, and that's happening to arm wrestling very naturally. And I saw in Bulgaria, and so arm wrestling from underground niche sport became very successful at the moment. And I think part of that is, of course, YouTube channels from Devon, the new pickups, Arm Wars, of course, Engin lately, the last 2 years with East versus West. But everything came together. And for me, channels like yours and Ryan and I don't want to name everybody because I'm gonna forgot someone, but this is a part of the popularity and building the character. So the fans want to see people, and the problem is you have to build this character. to have the pay-per-views. And I think that channels like yours with your views are a big part of that. So I think you are also on the same page in
Yeah, yeah,
this.
definitely. I think social media is definitely good growth. Initially, I was kind of struggling with this idea like, should I be asking, should I be bothering too many arm wrestlers about interviews and stuff? But then I think about it, if I was myself a high level arm wrestler and I don't have enough time to build my own social media, I wouldn't mind going on some people's youtube channels, because it helps them, and I think it's eventually going to help us as well, because not everyone has the time to do everything on social media. Like king of the table, most of the matches when Devon is not involved. So let's talk about some of the other cards. I saw some full cards where literally not the John Brezink versus Vovoda match. In that match, literally no one did like more than one post on social media to promote that match. And same thing goes for core sports as well. They were also not promoting it. So my question is, how are these matches getting promoted? John isn't posting anything. John posted maybe one post on his Instagram that got like 3,000 likes, 2,000 likes. Vovoda posted one or maybe two posts. All of the other arm wrestlers, maybe they shared the poster of their own match. That's it. That wasn't even like 50,000 views combined. So how are these matches getting promoted? How did people know that this match is going to
Only
happen? So
when the
that
people are making analysis, make predictions,
yeah.
make story videos of the competitors. This is the only way at the moment. And I think that Engin in his lives, he's talking about the King of the Table matches
Yeah.
too. They have a,
Yeah.
some kind of
Yeah.
corporation with core sport. But this is the only way. So
Yeah.
you're right.
So let's talk about Engin's interviews as well. Engin does a lot to promote these. He's active on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, YouTube,
Very
interviews
active.
all of
Yeah.
the guys. But if we talk about YouTube, let's say interviews all of the athletes, every single interview gets like 10,000 views on average. Overall views, let's say 200,000 views, and same number of views on Instagram and Facebook as well from different places. So overall 500,000 views from Engin Terzi's own self promotion. Is that really enough to promote a pay-per-view event, to push like 15,000, 20,000 pay-per-view sales? Still, I think the promotional part needs these YouTubers, a bunch of YouTubers, combined effort a lot. And I think sometimes the promoters kind of underestimate this thing, because all they see is after the event, people are uploading the results, they're getting 20,000 views, 30,000 views, they're making money of our event. Well, they got 20, 30,000 views even before the event as well, while talking about the event. So I think it's kind of a fair exchange.
There is definitely place to develop the marketing, the promotion. This is a big part. I think I hope this year this is gonna change, and many others channel are gonna show up and make prediction or some kind of videos or stories. The only thing I'm hoping that they're not gonna do is to try to restrict channels like your or mine to make a content on something, because it's a very difficult to be to find the right how to say that, to the right moment, what you should show and what is too much for Engin or for core sport, or don't cross the line, which in my point of view this is helping, but maybe in the point of view of Engin this is making his pay-per-view less. uh, it's difficult to find this balance.
Yeah, yeah. But Angit, I've seen one thing about him. He really appreciates whoever promotes his events in the beginning before the event happens. He really, really appreciates those guys. So that's a cool thing from Angit. I really like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what is your goal with your channel? What do you want to achieve? What are your future plans, maybe in the next 2 years, let's say, or something? Do you have a goal in your head?
After, let's say I hit 100,000 subscribers, be a little bit easy on myself. Sometimes, right
How
now, if
much
I
subscribers do you have at the moment?
maybe, I don't know, maybe 44, 43, something like that.
Okay, so you want to hit the 100,000. Okay,
So
that's
first
gonna happen.
100,000 and then little bit easy, because right now if I, let's say don't do anything on YouTube. Let's not do, if I don't prepare a video and I take rest for 6 hours, those 6 hours bother me. I sometimes wake up in the night if I sleep without uploading a video, like, bro, what are you doing? You should be
Mm,
making a video, you shouldn't be sleeping. Sometimes I have a job, so King of the Table starts at around 10 a.m, 10:30 p.m for me. I
mhm,
start live commentating at about 9:30, and the commentating goes on until 3 a.m, 3:30. Then
mhm,
I record the result videos, so then
mhm,
I upload them. By the time I finish doing all of the work, then I start writing the scripts for what's next for Denis Siplankov. So
mhm,
if he lost, then what's next for Dennis? If he
mhm,
won, then what's next for Dennis? What's next for Hermes
mhm,
Gasparini if we talk about the future
mhm,
event?
mhm.
Then it takes about 7 a.m. and then immediately, like immediately, sometimes I have food, sometimes I don't. I literally rush without taking a bath, without even washing my face. I wear my clothes and then I go to office for working for 7 a.m. So that has always been a trend for me in all of the east versus west. Yes, I know it's a Sunday, but most of the Sundays I'm working. I'm working, so a little bit easy on me, because when I hit 100,000 subscribers, and I've already started noticing it, I'm not so like fast. In the beginning it was a competition, so if there is a big news, Devin announced that yes, I have accepted the Dennis match, immediately I want to jump on YouTube. I want to be the first one to upload that video before other guys, like, let's say, performance enhancing pancakes or concrete elbow or someone else uploads. There was a rush. Right now I'm already out of that rush. I know people have that much trust in Arm Wrestling News, that much faith. Even if I am the last one to upload a video, still, instead of 20,000 views, I'll still get 15,000 views. So
Mhm.
I'm relaxing a little bit. Later on, I want to relax even more. So a fixed time, 8 p.m. Indian time or 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time, every day, honestly, news video will upload. No matter how big the news is, I'll wait until that time. I'll be peaceful in my mind and upload a video on a specific time. That's my guess, and I don't see myself quitting this anytime soon. I'll be doing it for a long time.
That's great. If you find your balance, you are not having burnout of videos and pressure that you build to yourself. So I don't think. Um, I think you maybe there is gonna be a point in the future where you can, um, if you want, of course, quit your other job so you can have
I
more
can quit
time
it
to.
right now, but as I said, I have a bond, and it's a serious bond with a government organization, which I
Mhm,
cannot find a loophole in. So that's the problem. I'm already earning enough from YouTube that I can easily quit my job. I could have
mhm,
done that 2 years ago if I had the option.
mhm, mhm, mhm. So I hope you will find a way to do it. Do you see? But by the way, with YouTube, there are some risks also. Did you get? Of course, you got the news for Top Row King. They canceled his channel. Can you imagine that? This is
Yeah,
crazy for me.
yeah.
Why are they canceling? I enjoy his channel. Also, he's funny guy. He's doing some strange things sometimes, but this is also one of the oldest channel with maybe 30,000 or 26, or I don't know. Do you know what happened that they canceled his channel? So
No,
close
no,
the
I
channel.
didn't. I didn't ask him personally, but I have literally no idea. Engin talked with him. Engin was saying that I know the reason why he thinks he it got cancelled, but they didn't talk about it. I have literally no idea, and I don't fear it happening to me. Even if it does, I was once threatened by a person with a couple of copyright strikes, and I was kind of warned to be careful, otherwise I'll be getting the third strike, and I don't care. At that time, I realized that I, I'm not a person that you can scare. If my channel goes, I'll start a new one, and
Mhm.
it will not be like 44,000 immediately, but I'll get it to the same number within a year. So it doesn't really bother me.
The people know you and they will engage very
Yeah.
fastly.
For me, the first priority is to be able to say whatever I want, even at the cost of it maybe disrespecting some arm wrestler if he feels disrespected. In my opinion, if it is not disrespect, if that is something that somebody told me and I wouldn't be offended, I wouldn't be bothered, then for me, speaking my mind is the most important thing without feeling any fear of anyone.
Yeah. So, guys, if you want Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Arm Wrestling News, and for Artem, his new channel. If you enjoyed his content, so he will grow backly. How do you see the future of arm wrestling from your point of view?
Only thing that is bothering me just a little bit is that outside money is not coming enough into arm wrestling. It's right now, the pay-per-view model is the arm wrestling community, the fans, they are circulating the money within themselves. They are the
They
ones
are
who
not
are,
big companies like Nike, Reebok,
yeah.
like that.
People
But
sometimes say that, yeah, we need more pay-per-view sales. Yes, we do, but I think we need both. We need some outsiders money coming in as well. So that's one of my things that I always look forward to. Maybe some sponsors that have nothing to do with arm wrestling, they make some money from arm wrestling, and in turn they give arm wrestling some money. Then I think the sport will grow the fastest.
mhm, yeah, I agree with you. But no big company with reputation is gonna give a lot of money without doping control.
Yeah.
This is
I don't know the
this is
exact reason behind it, and people will deny that. They will give counter examples to your point, like bodybuilding has a sponsors and it's the most used sport in the world, and some other sports.
which sport? Sorry,
Bodybuilding,
bodybuilding.
it's
That
literally
that
about steroids, and they have sponsors.
bodybuilding is a big industry behind the bodybuilding, or companies, stuff.
And then they give examples of strongmen, these two sports where steroids are allowed and they have sponsors. But I talked with the owner of Pro Panja League in India, and he also said something. He runs some marketing agencies. He's been heavily involved in sports for a long time, and he was saying that the same thing that you just mentioned, that the sponsors will not look towards arm wrestling until there is drug testing. That's what
Yes,
he said. I
this
don't know the exact reason why it happens, but yeah, I've heard it multiple times from people who know stuff.
yeah, this is the business mindset of the big company. It's a reputation built over years, and that's also the reason why a lot of athletes are losing their own sponsor, and at the moment they have a positive doping results. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think if we
about steroids, Dimitar. Have you ever wondered that people always say that yes, arm wrestling is a beautiful sport because you can literally be at the top of arm wrestling even in your 50s, even when you are so old, and it doesn't happen in any other sport.
Yeah, but this
Yes,
is not true.
yeah, it happen it makes some sense because arm wrestling is all mostly like 90% it's a single arm sport, and the rest of your body means maybe 10%, 90% is this thing. So it may be possible to keep it strong even when you are old. But does that have something to do with the steroids as well? Is arm
Uh,
wrestling the only sport where steroids are openly allowed? That's why
mm.
the older guys are also able to compete. In strongmen, we see plenty of old guys in their 40s. That's where the steroids are allowed. Even in bodybuilding, some guys around their 40s, they're doing well. That's where the steroids are allowed. So maybe if we take steroids out of arm wrestling, then maybe we don't see the guys in their 50s and in the late 40s
This is
dominating.
absolutely my view on this topic. So we can talk about that in the details. So general in the sports, you see in tennis, you see in athletic, even in soccer, you see people getting later, ending his careers because we have a better regeneration and so on. Which yes, in arm wrestling, the straight is very important. With the years, you're losing your speed, but you still have a straight. But I absolutely agree on you. I'm natural athlete, and I'm working my ass off since I'm 15. Now I'm 40, so I'm working out for many years and competing naturally. And I can tell you, it is not getting easy with the age. It's not getting easy. You're getting injuries, and you're getting injuries. If you're not careful, if not, nothing is perfect. And I don't think with doping tests, you will definitely not see this high level and this higher age. This is not natural, and I understand. So if there is a rule, that should be for all organizations, because it's otherwise it's gonna be unfair advantage for one organization allowing steroids and another ban them. But I just, as a natural athlete, I just want to have a place to compete naturally. And for me, at the moment, this place is WAF Europeans and WAF Worlds in the national level. This is the only place. And I'm getting so pissed off every time when they get at least five or between 5 and 10 people every single time in a master division, in a senior division, and maybe in a junior division. They are okay if you want, go the professional way, but leave the people one possibility where they can compete normally. This is my view. Sorry to.
Yeah, so I also think another example that people give is that, well, steroid testing doesn't work. People will find a way around it, how to cheat the drug testing. And I'm like, maybe some will, because I have not really seen any drug testing where nobody got caught. Like they tested 20 guys and all of them were found natural. It never happens. Everyone is getting caught sometimes. So how can anyone say that steroid testing doesn't work? You know that Usain Bolt, if somebody asks athletics, since you mentioned how many gold medals does he have at Olympics, many people say 9, but he does have only 8. The 2008 medal, Nesta Carter was his teammate. He got busted for steroids. And unfortunately, because it was a relay race, one of the guys got caught and the rest 4 also lost their gold medal at Olympics. So the people are getting caught. The Olympic champions are getting caught. So you think arm
Yes,
wrestlers are so smart that they will find a way around it? I don't think so.
I can tell you a story from the last German nationals last year. We're preparing the German nationals, and the evening before there is announcement there will be 3 or 4 doping tests at the nationals. Suddenly, from nowhere, WADA is invited, paid. They will test the people. So suddenly, a lot of people feel sick and decide to not to compete. Favorites in many weight divisions, and because of that, you got new people reaching the first place at the German nationals, new guys, new faces.
Yeah.
And they did the test, and all tests were negative, but a lot of people didn't compete. So it works.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not
definitely works.
perfect, but definitely has impact on the people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will not find every single year
Yeah.
people there.
So when Pro Punjab League came, like the last season in August last year, they had before the event started, they had officials, the government officials from the National Anti-Doping Agency, and they were saying that you guys may be tested, and these are the things that you cannot take. We have uploaded the entire list on the website, and they showed the kit, the testing kit, and it says that worldwide this kit is used. I'm not sure if which country he said, maybe it's from Switzerland or some other country. That kit was like for maybe $80, $70. Let's say in some countries it's like $120. It says that's the most basic standard testing kit that is used all over the world. And then we see some guys complaining about, well, there is no money in arm wrestling for drug testing. For it to work, you need to test the guys every single month. I like, no, something is better than nothing. If you test 10 guys and 6 of them find a way to cheat the test but 4 get caught, it's still less number of juicers in a supposed to be natural event. So I think the money thing is also a lie. Right now, East versus West, king of the table, they both are profitable organizations, and the first thing that they should invest their profits in can be drug testing. But right now they cannot do that for one simple reason. Let's be honest, they are going to lose all of their star arm wrestlers.
Yes,
Pay-per-view
yes.
sales are going to be, maybe they're
Yeah.
going to crash like
No, I,
80%.
I don't have a problem with them to still keep that, but this is if they ask
Separate events you
themselves
want.
why they are not getting a big name sponsors, this is the reason. And if they are okay with that, I'm also okay. But I just want to leave the people. I'm as pissed off as I told you of the athletes competing at the WAF and and taking.
But then let me ask you, brother. Then you got what you wanted. Nobody is used at WAF. You won your division, but you want to take your career to next level. Now the next big step is King of the Table, East versus West. But you have to stick to WAF, which is an amateur event. You cannot go to a professional event because you decided to be natural and you are not at their level. So what is your fault in that case?
I
You should
think
be allowed to
I
go there
think
as well.
you need to face the true and make decision in your life if you want to be professional and earn money with that, and this is the main source of income in your life. So you have to be also professional athlete and take the unhealthy step and to be on the top.
Yeah.
I think
I,
this is
I
the way.
I hear Joe Rogan always talk about that stuff. He mentions some of the MMA fighters, UFC fighters, as soon as UFC went a little bit strict on the drug testing. He said many guys, they shrank like 20 pounds. They lost 20, 25, 30 pounds. The UFC guys, as soon as the testing was strict. So UFC is a professional event. It is much bigger than arm wrestling. If they can introduce drug testing, I mean, yeah, maybe right now it is going to stop the growth of arm wrestling at some extent, to some extent. In the future, we should definitely start thinking about it. Maybe some athletes could be given an opportunity. If they say that we don't have money, then let's say if Dimitar wants an opponent drug tested, you have the option to pay for his drug testing.
I,
Then
I
nobody would have an excuse.
I think maybe in the future there will be some kind of alternative uh, professional league with drug testing. This is something that could happen. This is
Yeah, but
maybe, I don't know if there is a
I don't
market
think
for
so, brother.
that,
I don't. We already have that. I think WAF is kind of that, but I don't think many people are going to
but not
care
in the
about that
super match format.
as
Not
long as the top arm wrestlers are not there. And if these guys in the future, maybe after 10 years, they become the top arm wrestlers from the drug tested leagues, then it can happen. But in the short term, I don't think it's going to happen. They tried something like that in bodybuilding as well, all natural bodybuilding. Nobody liked to watch these guys.
I'm as I said, the people are adult enough to take the decisions with their own health. If there is the price is enough and they're willing to do it, I'm okay with that. Free country, free choice, but just leave the opportunity. What is happening in India at the moment? Is the arm wrestling getting popular in India over your channel not only, but or maybe you can have
Yeah.
some, I don't know, India is a huge country with a lot of people and population there. So I think it's just a matter of time to have very strong people in the middleweight divisions over
Yeah.
WAF. There are already
For
some Indian
first I
guy.
think lightweight, then towards the middleweight. It will work like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think India is the fans are still, if we talk about fans perspective and athletes perspective, I'm going to talk about both of them. From the fans perspective, one thing that I want more in the future is that fans are still into only shorts and reels and Facebook reels, stuff like that. So they just scroll and watch arm wrestling. The long form content like this interview or 10-minute videos, 8-minute videos, they are yet not that much. So they're the most casual arm wrestling fans audience that you can see, the beginner fans. It just started. Slowly they will transition to more serious fans who start purchasing stuff in the future, who start watching everything about an arm wrestler. But if you combine the views from arm wrestling all over the country in India, I think this number is as big as rest of the world combined.
Hmm.
All of the other, let's say 200 countries, how many views they are generating from arm wrestling, and here is India, and these two numbers are kind of equal in my opinion. That's how big arm wrestling is. Literally anyone, like every single person, a 50 kg guy who won the first match in his life, he can edit a short and get 1 million views in India. It's that easy. Like everybody is getting a million views on shorts on
Which
India.
is the platform the Indian guys are following arm wrestling?
Right now, the biggest platform is Pro Pancha League for sure. But the one thing I like about Indian arm wrestlers, everyone is active on Instagram. Not so much on YouTube, but Instagram. every single guy has their camera out. If they go to the tournament, if they win a match, they put a motivational high intensity music. If they take some revenge, they keep that clip when they lost to that guy a couple of years ago. Now they beat him and they put good music over it, gets like 5 million views. I really like that stuff. So fans are becoming more serious, and Pro Punjab League is doing good. Like, you may have known that we were on television. So Sony Sports Network is the biggest sports channel. Like, it's the ESPN of USA. That's how big it is.
Mm.
And we were live on Sony Sports Network. The first season was watched with by over 32, I think almost 40 million viewers. 40
Are
million
you
unique.
commentating the matches
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I was one of the commentators, one of the two.
Hmm.
So about 40 million unique viewers. That's a big number. That's a number that nobody has ever seen before in arm wrestling.
No.
Uh, Second season is going to be bigger than that. So just to keep things into perspective, we had 6 professional teams where the players were bought on auction. Right now, in the first season, they were not given too big of a price. Maybe it was like $1,200, $1,100, something like that. So
Hmm.
that was for the first season. For second season, it is going to be the same. For third season, when these athletes have made a name about themselves, now the businessmen will be sitting there who will be auctioning. Okay, I have that much budget allocated for my team. I want to buy this guy. I want to buy Rahul Panekar. And then they will be bidding. Okay, I want to purchase Rahul for this one season for, let's say, $10,000, and somebody else will be paying, let's say, I'll give $11,000. So they will be literal bidding in the third season. So that is going to be awesome. So these athletes are making a name for themselves in the first couple of seasons, and the third season is when we'll see the show. Every single team, all of the 6 teams, they have international coaches. So coach Yerkin from Kazakhstan, he was invited. And who was the
Cobra
guy?
Rhodes. I saw Cobra Rhodes being in India also at
No,
some
no, Cobra
point.
was not at this event. Maybe he was in the past about something, but not for this event. Who was the guy? I forgot his name. Who beat Kidergali Ongarbayev in Kazakhstan when Ongarbayev was coming back from a surgery? Then Ongarbayev beat him later on. I I,
Mm.
I have his name. I used to sit with him and talk with him a lot daily, but I forgot
From
his name.
which country?
Kazakhstan.
Who beat Ongarbayev?
Yeah, when Ongarbayev was coming back from a surgery a couple of years ago, I think. So
Uh,
he was one of the coaches. Rostam Babayev was invited. His flight tickets were booked as a coach for one of the teams in Pro Punjab League. So he had some federation issues at that time. They gave
mm,
some clearance. They gave some clearance that, yeah, Rostam is competing in WAF events now, so he's cleared from our side. But I
mm.
don't know. Still, there were some clarification that needed to be sought out. It didn't happen, so Rustam couldn't come. So all of the international coaches were invited. Every single team has a physiotherapist, a doctor, different sponsors. So you can already see the level at which we are operating here. It's,
Very
it's easily
professional.
the biggest team, easily
But the problem
biggest team.
is for me, like someone sitting in Europe, how can I follow this league? How can I watch it?
This time there may be something for international viewers. We are talking. I talked with Don Idris just yesterday. We discussed some stuff. Core Sports. Maybe we'll see this season on Core Sports. They're still kind of deciding what the price point should be and if they should be doing it or not. But it will be providing the feed from here to over there, and then on Core
And I
Sports,
would love to see some guys from there competing at East versus West.
easily the best production, brother. People right now talk about king of the table and east versus west. When you watch Pro Punjab League, it's not the same. It's a completely different level. Anyone who has seen that, anyone of the international arm wrestlers who have been here in India, they say there are some guys who have been at east versus west and Pro Punjab League both, and they say that it's not even close. The production
The
quality
life
is not.
experience.
Yeah. And
The,
also on television, I can send you some videos and you'll see it's much bigger. The production quality is much bigger. You can sense that it's going on TV, so the biggest sports network, so millions of people watching live at a time. It has to be good. The production has to be good.
great. Wow. I didn't expect that. I know that this league is very popular, but that this high professional level is really great.
Yeah. Guys,
Wow.
kids have like 150,000 followers on Instagram. Like the social media fan, and the fans are such like the fans of Bollywood stars, Hollywood stars we see, if they go out, they may be like the 15th best guy in their weight category in India. Let's say a 60 kg guy, he's popular on social media, he's 15th best guy in his weight category in India, or 12th best, whatever. If he goes out, people will be literally lining up to take photos with him. That's how crazy the fan following of arm wrestlers here in India already is, and I love
That
that.
means you are also a little bit celebrity
No,
there.
no, no, no. I'm not, because my stuff is mostly for the international audience. So not many people know me in India.
Ah,
Yeah,
this
but
is
still people
crazy.
recognize. Still people recognize.
This is crazy.
It's good. It's good. Many people on YouTube. There are many guys who have like 100,000 subscribers.
Where are you sitting in India? Where are you in which region
Right
near?
now, I'm in the western part. Before that, I was in the eastern part. I'll be staying here for like 3, 4 years in the western part of
Okay.
India.
Okay. Did you plan to visit the East versus West to
I was
be
I was
live?
invited by Engin Terzi for
At the
almost every
beginning,
single event.
you editing for Engin content at the beginning, and
I feel proud. I gave Engin Terzi the idea to start East versus West Arm Wrestling channel. I was the one who started that channel. Everything, literally everything, except for that thumbnail. That was done by maybe Artem. I think Artem Engin asked to do that.
but now
But I
this
was
second channel is growing up very fastly.
very
Also,
fast, and I feel proud. I was the one who gave the idea, and I was the one who started it. I was the one who built it to 10, 12,000 subscribers. It was all me in the beginning.
great story.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's summarize. Bright future for the arm wrestling in India
Yeah.
anyway. Over the world, maybe there is some issue we have to find out how to handle them to get bigger sponsor, or we're gonna decide to no, we don't need a bigger sponsor. The community is gonna be the giving money. Do you know what is new now? Big bookmaker starting putting arm wrestling matches in their list, so you can bet money on East versus West. This is something I never saw before. I'm not talking about arm bet of Devon. This is something different. I'm talking about independent local sport betting companies. They are mainly in boxing or soccer or something else. Now getting arm wrestling matches, which is also something I don't know how I feel about. It is good or not because sometimes with betting you can
Match
disrupt
fixing.
some sports.
Yeah. Some matches can be fixed as well if the big money is involved. But
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessarily bad. I heard somebody talk about this thing. Maybe it was RVJ, or maybe somebody, it was someone else. He said that if bigger betting companies want to step up into arm wrestling, they will make sure that there is drug testing, because if somebody is putting up huge money on a guy, he would make sure that the other guy, his opponent, is not cheating in any way possible. And huge betting stakes, that means more drug testing in the sport. That was a relation. I don't know anything about it, but I heard somebody, maybe I think it was RVJ, he was talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to keep you so long here, but let's talk about a little bit for about the upcoming event, King of the Table and Alden Warret and Maiwo and the family of Warret. How do you see? Do you think it's the right time for Alden to step in the big stage? It is the right move, or how do you see that?
I have kind of a mixed feeling. I don't like it when people say that, well, he's getting there because of only Devon, he shouldn't be getting there. So, if a father has worked hard throughout his life, and if he wants to hand over some of the benefits to his sons, his
The
younger
legacy,
generation,
yeah.
yeah, legacy, I don't see anything wrong being there. I always give the example of a businessman. Like, if some businessman has built a $1 billion company, and he gives his son an opportunity to start as maybe the second biggest guy in that company, and he gets a salary of, let's say, $1 million a year, $2 million, people will be complaining about that. Well, he got his that shot, that opportunity, only because of his father. So what? I don't see anything being wrong here. King of the Table, if they see that Auden Leret cannot force the pay-per-view buys, he does not have the potential, it doesn't matter if he's Devon's son or not, they're not going to invite him the next time. So if he proves that he's worth it, he will be invited in the future. And if King of the Table does not have any problem with it, then I also don't have any problem with it. Are there higher level arm wrestlers who deserve a better shot, who may also deserve a shot at king of the table just because of their level in arm wrestling. Yeah, maybe there are hundreds of thousands of guys who can be stronger than Orden Leret for sure. But I think it's a good experiment. They're investing in the athletes. They're trying to get Orden early on because thinking that he will be the future superstar of arm wrestling. So that's why I think it's an early investment which is going to give them returns in the future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I see.
And by the way,
Yeah,
Orden versus I cannot mention young boy's name enough. He turned Indian guy Abbas Rana. Have you heard about him? He just turned 16 years old 3 months ago in November, and I think he literally destroys Orden while weighing less than him. So he's like 200 pounds. So that's another arm wrestler that I would like to see, and especially
w-
he's Indian.
where
He's
is he from?
India.
India.
Yeah.
And he put with Auden.
No, I'm just saying he like it's not going to be close if that guy and he's weighing 200 pounds like 90 kilos, so same as Orden. So if he pulls with Orden, it's not going to be close, and he just turned 16 year old. So that's the kind of arm wrestlers I would love to see, because just because of the fact that he's from India and now he has social media presence as
Mm-hmm.
well. He has a YouTube, Instagram page. I think people will be getting behind him. I would, if this model of inviting young arm wrestlers is successful at East versus West, I would love to see Abbas Rana at some of the future events. So just to
Mm-hmm.
give you some perspective, he went to WAF 2023 in sub junior under 16 category, and he 15 years old, about to turn 16 at that time. And he was arm wrestling for 1.5 years at that time. 1.5 years in the WAF sub junior
He's a little
super.
bit chubby, right? A little bit,
Now he's muscular. He's pretty muscular. I
not
wouldn't say
really
he's chubby.
okay.
He's pretty
Because I
muscular.
saw one a little bit big guy, young big guy,
Okay.
who were pulling some Russian guys in the WAF sub juniors, smashing them,
Yeah.
and
So this time he was obviously he was in super heavyweight of sub junior, which is 70 plus kilos, I think.
mhm.
And 1.5 years of training, and he destroyed everyone. Beat all of the Kazakh kids in Kazakhstan, all of the Georgians, left and right, gold medal at WAF with just 1.5 years of training.
Wow.
And it wasn't close. It wasn't close. Like literally everyone, he just curled them in,
You need to
and
send me his profile
yeah.
in Instagram. I have to look on this
He's
guy.
at 16. He's benching 400 pounds, 180 kilos, and his body weight is like 90 kilos. He's benching double his
This
weight.
this reminds me on Sasha Andreev as he was 15 and he was so muscular, so powerful.
Yeah,
He was 15 and he beat Christo on the left hand. And Christo was world champion, Brazil with the right, not with the left, and still have Christo beat Sasha with his world champion hand after a war, and
yeah.
Sasha was 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Sasha is a
imagine.
different beast. I'm not saying Abbas is anywhere close to what Sasha could have
Yeah,
been
but
at 16 years old. Yeah,
amount of potential, the potential is there. If he's so strong at 15, that means imagine what happening in 1 year. I see so many young talented guys in Bulgaria and also in Germany, uh, and I'm flying to Bulgaria. I'm 3 months here, and then I'm flying back. They're stronger. 3 months back, they're even stronger. They're growing very, very, very fast.
yeah.
Okay, so I think Alden is someone who he's crazy enough. He loves arm wrestling. This is the most important thing. He's working hard, like we saw in the latest video of Devon telling that his son is even working harder, loving arm wrestling, being son of Devon Warat. This is for me one of the important factors. Then the genetics is also there, and if he is smart enough and slowly growing, developing himself, he definitely has a bright future for the
Yeah.
just from the way. Um, Maybe I would like to see him to, for example, to how he's gonna score on junior or sub junior division WAF. I would love to see that. I think this is
I
not
don't think
wrong.
he's ready yet. I don't think he's ready yet. Like if you were to ask me,
Why
Auden is
he's not
19.
ready? He's
Yeah,
working out, he's training and competing since he's 5.
yeah.
Why
He's
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 not
for
ready?
sure that the technique is there, but I don't think the strength is there. There are some arm wrestlers who peak early, they're already strong, and there are
Mhm.
some arm wrestlers who develop their strength later
Mhm,
on.
mhm.
Like
And you think he's of the mhm,
some 18-year-olds, you will already see like thick beard, they've already
mhm,
kind of peaked out. So if at 18 they are 90 kilos, when they get to like 30 years of age, maybe they get to 9500, they don't develop that much. And
mhm.
some, I'm not talking about juiced guys, some natural guys you'll
Yeah,
see
just the
at 8,
natural development. Yeah.
yeah, at 20 they are skinny, they weigh like 60 kilos, and at 30 they get to 90 kilos, 95 kilos, 100 kilos naturally. So I think
Yeah.
Auden is one of them who will develop more later on. Right now, if you were to ask me, Devon Larratt at 19 years age when he had no technique, and Auden at 19 when he has all the technique in the world, I'm not sure if he would beat his father when his father was 19 years old.
Mhm. Do you think he's not beating Devon at 19?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't see Auden being that strong, but he's so versatile. His endurance is great. He can get under the table if needed.
But
I think
he
he's,
will not make the mistakes that Devon did,
yeah, yeah.
and
That
he
that's
will
that's
have less injuries probably, and
But
then maybe he becomes stronger.
he
Let's.
he'll physically develop more, in my opinion, when he's like 24, 25 years
Did
of
you
age.
have interview with him?
No, no, not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know why. This thing is kind of, it kind of bothered me in the beginning when I was one of the first interview of Auden Larratt ever was on Umesh Dhruva's channel, Be Strong Arm Wrestling. He did a bunch of, I think, invited Plamen Dimitrov for an event. You may notice him. Umesh, he's from India. Be Strong
Uh,
Arm Wrestling, where some Bulgarians went to compete in Canada.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he was the first one who did an interview with him. Then I asked Auden, and Auden was like, "No, bro, I don't." At first, he was ready. Okay, let's do that. And then he was like, "No, I don't want to do interviews. After that, everyone will be asking me for interviews, and I don't want to do any interviews." I was like,
Mhm, mhm,
"Okay, brother." And
mhm.
then later on next week, I'd see him doing other interviews. So I'm not sure. Maybe maybe it didn't like something that I said about his father.
Okay, 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 okay. Um, so do you have a message at the end of this live? So I'm gonna read shortly the some of the comments of the people, but before I do that, do you have a message from people who enjoy arm wrestling and thinking about start putting content out there? Do you have some advice of them how to start or what is the journey worth it? So I can tell you my experience. I start my channel. My main target was to bring more Bulgarian people, more Bulgarian content to show some faces. They're very good in arm wrestling and nobody knows about them. And then I love arm wrestling, doing that so for so long. Then I start to talking with people like you or Rombat or people that I know from the past. But yeah, I'm not so good at it, to be honest. But I'm still learning, enjoying. Hopefully, I'm not financially dependent on YouTube, so I can not be so strict with my schedule. But do you have advice for the people who want to start
Who want to start social media or arm wrestling?
social media or to start
Yeah.
some channel in into the?
Yeah, guys, be as much opinionated as you can. Be biased. Like, this is new trend. Everyone is like, well, you should be neutral. You should not be biased. And I'm like, why? Why you should not have your opinions? Don't tell anyone ever what they cannot do. Tell them what they should do, what they may not do, but don't tell anyone what they cannot do, and have strong opinions. There is nothing wrong. I don't really like this idea. I don't know where it came from, that you should be neutral, you should not be biased. There are some things where I have also talked about such stuff, where I was watching, maybe it was the Levan versus Devon prediction show on Nail Pickups channel, and there were like six American guys, North American guys, and they predicted all of the North American guys. I too had a little bit problem with that. I said it's totally okay to be picking your countrymen, but don't give logic behind it. When all six of you are predicting all six of the American guys to win, that's like 36-0 in predictions, then don't give me logic behind it. That's why you think this guy is going to win. At least admit that he's your countryman, that's why you are predicting him to win. So sometimes I too have a problem with that, but don't let anyone tell you that you are not good for the sport or you cannot give your opinions.
I like that.
Opinions is what people like to. If I just started giving like only news, the videos will end in less than a minute. Rest of the 9 minutes are opinions, and people, no matter what they say, they love to hear opinions. That's the biggest thing. That's the way humans are involved. In one of the comments, I have talked, Dimitar, I have talked, how do I pronounce your name? Dimitar
Perfectly,
Yankov.
Dimitar.
Yeah.
Dimitar, yeah.
Yeah, and I love it how every single Bulgarian name ends with an OV towards the end. Plamen
Yes,
Dimitrov,
yeah, yeah,
Yankov,
yeah.
Andreev, EV,
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of other guys. When I was watching the WinBet arm wrestling show, I think it was televised on your Bulgarian television as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was watching every single name ends with
Of
OV. I was like,
of
I love it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
absolutely love
yeah.
it. So I've always talked positive stuff, like such positive stuffs. Even sometimes I felt, bro, you're praising Georgi Swetkov way too much. Every single video, positive stuff about Georgi. And one time, when Engin Terzi posted a screenshot of Georgi's WhatsApp chat, where Georgi was saying that he's going to be the number one guy by the end of this year or something like that. And I just replied to that Engin's comment, that Engin's post, that, well, Georgi also said that he's going to destroy Devon Larratt, and that didn't quite happen. So I was a little bit upset about it. And Georgi Swetkov in the comments, he went at me, man. He was saying, bro, you should be stopped. You should not be allowed to speak. You have zero knowledge. And like, you can say I have 1% knowledge about arm wrestling.
The
There is
problem
no one
is
in this world. There's no one in
you
this world who has zero knowledge about arm wrestling.
I know Georgi very well, and he's not the best example for guy who is handling
Yeah.
the opinion of the
And
negative opinion. Believe me, he give me give me tough time sometimes when we discuss arm wrestling, and I'm one of the biggest fans of him, and I
yeah.
know him personally. I work out with him, and I try everything, but he's really hard. Believe
Yeah.
me, he's really
Yeah.
hard.
So I all of the moments flashed in my memory. I was like, bro, you were always such talking such good things about Georgi Swetkov, and one thing you just say that, well, Georgi also said that
And
he's going to
he's
destroy Devon, and he's mad at me. He's like, you do not have any knowledge. You just talk shit on your channel. You should not be. Somebody
don't
should
take it
stop you.
personal. Don't take it personal. This
Somebody
is
should
my
stop you.
advice.
And then if I hear things like that, I don't care if I'm a fan of you or not, and I don't care how many world titles. Then I also started going back at him. I was like, bro, why don't you try to stop me? Why are you telling others to try to stop me? Why don't you try doing that? And didn't you say that after? My problem was that, because maybe there was some betting involved or not, I don't know what exactly happened there. But if you watched Devon versus Georgi practice pull on the right arm, like literally anyone who has arm wrestled for a day can tell that Georgi is not going to win that match just based off that practice pull. And that's exactly how that match went. Georgi took something in the hand, but then after that he couldn't move at all. Devon was literally holding him like this. And the same thing happened in the match after that practice pull. The world was saying that, well, there's no chance that Georgi is going to win. And Georgi, on the other hand, yes, it is good to be sure about yourself. You have to be confident when you're going in a match. But him saying that I'm going to destroy Devon Larratt, I was like, nah, I don't believe it. That's not what I saw from the practice pool. I didn't say any of these things. These things were just completely in my mind. But maybe Georgi sensed them, that Pradeep wants to say that. That's why he got so mad at me. He got so mad at me, man. So
Yeah,
he was
don't
like,
take
you
it
don't know anything
personal.
about arm wrestling. Then I wrote that, well, I said that Devon is going to lose 6-0, and you said that you are going to win 6-0. So in the end, who was correct? How can I predict a match better
Mm.
than you while having zero? No? So all of these comments, Georgi didn't even read them. Maybe Engin did, and he just didn't delete my comments. He deleted every single comments, like 20-30 comments. He just deleted all of the comments from that post so that Georgi doesn't see those comments. And maybe he didn't, he still hasn't read my comments. But I was like, I'm not going to back off.
Are
I
you
have gone through these things with multiple arm wrestlers. I will be the last person backing off just because I don't arm wrestle and you are a world champion. At that point, I don't care.
do you have a plan to fly to Istanbul in for April?
Visa issues, brother. I had some visa issues, as I said early on. Engin invited me for like East versus West, three, four, five, six, I think every single one of them, and I couldn't go because of visa issues. I can manage, but I'll have to be like really tricky. I need
Mm-hmm.
to inform my organization in advance. Only if they give me clearance to travel internationally, then I get a visa. That's the problem.
I see. So let me check some comments. Good to see Pradeep. Pradeep is the most independent voice in arm wrestling. Yeah, thanks. About the Artem channel. Georgia. Yeah, there's so many guys, U11 being better than Auden, but like Pradeep said, I also think Auden needs time and he will develop. And some people are very strong and then they are hitting the plateau. And I don't know. I think that Auden has a bright future. Maybe not now. Maybe in 5 years. We're gonna see. This is the good thing.
Yeah. And people are saying, well, we can beat. There are many guys who can beat Orden. Yes, right now you can. But can you do that in like 3 years from now, 4 years of now, from now
This
when
is the
he's like
question.
230 pounds? I
And
don't
I
think.
can tell you, Alden looks much bigger if you see him live.
Yeah, even
He
in the
has a huge
videos, man,
frame.
I was talking with him on Paul Italia's show, and I was like, bro, I don't believe you weigh only like 86, 80, 88 kilos. I weigh that much, and I'm skinny. I don't have any muscle on me, only fat.
Yeah, if he pull Nifon Notov and the young Georgian, yeah, he will lose. Of course, they will gonna eat him alive. But the question is, we should wait 5, 6 years
Yeah.
to see if that's still the case.
Some people physically develop late. That's all I'm going to say.
We're gonna arm
Somebody
wrestle
said that
as
Abha should pull in the youth category. Though no, there are no youth junior categories at East versus West or King of the Table, and I don't think there are ever going to be one because in professional events, I have never seen. Have you ever seen in any sport in professional events there is age category?
let me think about no professional sport, no.
Maybe some have like higher age categories above 50 or something, but the juniors, I don't think there is any such weight category, age category. So they'll have to
Um,
be strong enough to compete there.
do you think I'm gonna ask you one two questions, two last questions. Um, who is your favorite for the match of Bacho um, and Rino?
Reno. I'm thinking as of now, Reno, like he has to be the favorite. He has proven himself
Mhm.
more. Bacho has recently gotten bigger. He used to be like 96, 97 kilos. Right now he's 107. I've seen sometimes people take time to adjust to the new weight. Like if you bulked from 100 to 110 kilos suddenly, you're young. Your body needs to kind of mature to have the strength of this new weight. Usually I've seen people just increase weight and their strength stays at that level. Then after a year or two, when you stay at that level, then the strength gains come. So Bacho has recently increased his weight over 100 kilos, I think. Reno is bigger. He has bigger wins, I think, and he's maybe more explosive. But I'm not sure. I need some technical advice from you on this one. So there is one guy who has a massive hand, and there is other guy where people say Reno has a baby hand. He has a very small hand, but he has a very strong press. So let's say if I'm the one who has a very small hand and a fast, quick shoulder press. Your arm is not your strength, but your hand is your strength. Your hand is really strong, really massive. How will you stop my press with a weaker arm but a stronger hand? What will you do?
I don't think this is happening. I think the only way is somehow to escape the press and to grab the finger and to somehow to work with your grip, not letting the slip. And but I think that Rino is gonna win and he's gonna press. This is also my opinion on that. Maybe we will be surprised. Last question. Do you think there is a person who can beat Mindaugas and, let's say, person who has high probability to beat Mindaugas and also Alan Zoloev?
Alan Zoloev
And
and Mindaugas.
I will
Yeah,
shock you,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I will tell you my opinion. But
Okay, so you have someone, third person
yes,
who
I
can
have
beat both of
something
these. Like,
someone in the mind from Bulgaria. Unfortunately,
so
we are not
since
gonna.
Engin has done it in the past, Engin cannot get down to 75 kilos right now. So I think Engin is out of the question because he has shown that he can beat Mindaugas. So taking his hand right now, hooking Mindaugas seems difficult. It's
Unfortunately,
difficult.
we are
I
not
know
gonna
that
see this match.
Prokopchuk.
We're not gonna see this match, but I can tell you a name,
Okay, okay.
and the name is Tsvetan Gashevsky.
Then you are talking about. Then you're Svetan Gashevsky. Yeah, I knew. But can Svetan cut to like 75 kilos? Is it possible for him?
Oh yeah, he's walking like 77, 78, 75. He's between 75 and 80.
I always see him like in
He's
80
competing.
85 kilos. So I thought he was really like weighing 85
No,
kilos or
no, no,
something.
no, no. He's competing with much heavier guys. The problem is because of the
Yeah.
stupid separation in
You know,
Bulgaria.
brother, I talk a lot. I just mentioned I had a call with Engin Terzi. I had a call with Don Idris, Core Sports. I talk a lot with these guys. Being in good books with them, it benefits me a lot. Like for my career, for financial stuff, I'm going to be taken care well if I talk positively about these guys. And yet I was the only one. Tell me another name who called out King of the Table for not giving Svetan Gashevsky his deserved match because he won the King of the
No,
Table
no, 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 no.
85 kg category.
There is a reason why he's not getting this match, and I understand the reason very well.
But if he deserved that spot, I don't care about any other reason. If the person is ready to compete, if Switan wants to compete, then they should give him that match. I think Sabin
he's not.
Bedulescu got his match.
This is
Sabin
not
got his
gonna
match.
happen. This is not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen,
But
but
I
not
can
people
tell
should talk
you,
about it. What's the reason? Do you think
I know the reason. The reason is the political problem with the
federation
separation
issues?
in the DAF with the
Yep.
WAF. So
Yep.
you will not see people who are not applied to the WAF in these events, and that's the reason.
Yeah,
And
brother. But that's the problem. That the same thing existed even when Svetan competed. So even before Svetan went, the federation issue was already there in 2022. I don't think it's a new issue.
yeah, but the issue gets tougher and tougher. It
It
escalated.
gets
You
tougher.
have different levels on escalation, and now it's escalated pretty high, and this is not gonna happen. That
you know
hurts
what changed?
my that
Yeah, you
hurts
know what
my.
changed? The thing that changed is king of the table used to not care about who competes there, whether they are good in good terms with WAF, whether in good terms with IFA or whatever. They didn't used to care, and that's why Svetan competed there. He won his tournament, but then after some association with Engin Terzi, with association with WAF, because they need permission from WAF to get their athletes on their card, then they developed a new policy for themselves that they will invite only the guys who are not in bad terms with WAF. That's what they created for themselves after Svetan had already qualified for their event. Right now, I think it's kind of unfair to him.
I think he's. I see it a little bit different. I think I blame Tsvetan on that. To be honest,
Okay, okay.
I think he made a mistake. He was misled, and at the end he lose from this situation. And he's not gonna change the world. And unfortunately, I would love to see it in this age to show what his capabilities. Because if you ask me, maybe I'm biased, but I think that I'm my in my rating, first place is Gashevsky, second one is probably John or Devon, I'm not sure, but and Engin also there, but the first one there is only one, and this is Gashevsky, and we this is a big long discussion. Maybe we can have this discussion with Christo. I think he is also in on my side why Gashevsky is so capable and good, but unfortunately we are not gonna see that.
Yeah, and right now Gashevsky's style is perfect for super matches. He proved himself mostly in the tournaments, and his style is better for super matches. And he's
Mhm.
kind of yet to get those big super match opportunities.
Yeah.
Beating him in tournament, I think, is going to be easier than beating him in a super match format.
Beating him at all is
It's difficult.
I think if you are able to beat Svetan Gashevsky even in a one round is
Yeah,
in my eyes more valuable than it's difficult to beat Gashevsky in one match than getting a WAF title. This is my point of view. So
yeah.
Pradeep, buddy, thank you. You're a great guy. I enjoy your video. Keep doing it, and I hope in some day we're gonna meet in person in some arm wrestling event, and we will talk about arm wrestling. Thank you a lot. You're a
Sure,
great
brother.
guy, and I hope that the people are following your channel because it's absolutely worth it.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.